Okay, so we are on, I think, day 5. Yes, day 5. Don't look at all my tabs open. That's like my brain. I keep lots of tabs open and come back and look at them later. That reminds me that I need what I need to do later. So we're going to do part 5 of the zones of regulation. We're going to dive, I think, into, let's see what it says. We're going to dive into using tools and then using the stop, off, and go. And then being able to celebrate success and kind of graphing it, reviewing it, and kind of self-reflect on it. And then just using lots of different ways to celebrate using tools when they're used. So all about positive reinforcement today. On that note, I know it has been a week and like a week and a half. How's everything going? Have you implemented zones of regulation? Or just kind of continuing on and maybe changing some of your verbiage, maybe possibly? How's it going with the, I guess, the zones aspect?
For me, it's a little hard to implement just because of the age and I guess because of habit in our household. So I use it, but not necessarily the way that it's instructed. I kind of adapt it to the household, to what they're used to, and use the tools, even though I'm not using the colored zones, so to say.
Well, I know like what you're saying with the older kid, like the older kids. I have older girls in my house and lots of emotions, especially with teenagers. So I kind of get it. I use different verbiage with them. I use like, let's sit and talk, express yourself. It's not necessarily saying I'm in the red zone. And I pretty much say like, I'm getting upset. I think I'm going to need some time to think, or and so they help me sometimes, like especially my daughter, she'll be telling me like, Mom, I'm trying to be a better person. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to rethink myself too. So maybe actually I like how you say you've already sort of been doing it, and just kind of keep on the same track, but maybe give her some input on how you want yourself to react to when they are yourself to react. How are you going to react to her when she's upset or something like that? So it kind of gives them a little bit more of a ownership of how you're going to react.
I try not to react because then my emotions are coming up, and what I'll usually do is ask questions. Like if I go by body language and expressions on the face and look, especially when they're shooting their murder one, I'll ask them, well, what's wrong, or did I do something to you act this way, and they'll start to talk, and that's a good thing, because when they start to talk, they start to listen to themselves, and when they listen to themselves, then they begin to realize what's going on with their own self.
Yeah.
But I'll try not to react, because it just escalates things.
I guess maybe I said it wrong, like react, maybe like help would be good, like because sometimes they need help getting out of that state. instead of hiding in their room. That's what teenagers love to do, right? They love to
Oh,
run,
yeah.
hide in your room, and don't come out for like 2, 3 days. And I'm like, did you even bathe? So it's just, I like to ask them like, well, what do you want to do? You want to go for a ride? You want to, just go get ice cream, Starbucks, you know, you want me just to shut up and listen, sometimes it's just very simple. But I like how you say like don't try not to react, because sometimes that's hard even as an adult to not react. Sometimes we want to just like but sometimes just being patient means more than that big explosion.
Yeah, well, with the oldest one out, the other day I asked her, uh, I bought some really cute video games that are good ones, but they're secondhand, and got them for a real good price. And I asked her, I said, I don't know how to work these controls. Can you come out here and help me? And before you know it, we were both playing and talking and laughing and having a good time. And because I was just making mistakes left and right. And um, looking at the split screen, I was looking at the wrong screen and wondering why my person wouldn't move, or do what I was supposed to do. And it got very comical and just loosened the whole situation up. So sometimes just, the interaction um, with them, or hey, I'm going to Walmart, or I'm going to Target. You want to go, and because they know if they go, they're going to get something out of it.
Yes.
Starbucks or something. So it's a good incentive for them, and then we get to spend time.
Yes.
In the car, we can talk and do other things, and the guards are usually down. The attitude is not there, and we get to the realization of what's going on, not only with them but with me. My concerns.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. I like it. Our trips. I even like when we travel far away. They get kind of trapped. So on that note, about all that is so we're going to hit like some of the other points to responsible decision making. So the stop, opt, and go is one we're going to talk about. Excuse me. We're going to talk about stop and use a tool, and then tracking those tools, and then stop, up, and go again is at the bottom. So just really looking at like how to stop, look at your options, and then go with those options. So our first one is like stopping and using a tool is, practice using the tools together as a family. Like I really model that with my daughter, is like when she's getting frustrated, and like you said that you do it too, is like just taking a deep breath. It's funny because actually, well, it's not funny because I had to take she's like my mom to the ER, and she was just like hyped, like her anxiety was so hyped from the pain, and I was like trying to like show her like, and I didn't say anything. I just like started breathing, and then she like kind of picked up on that energy, and then she started breathing too, and she's like, it kind of helped like bringing down that tension in her body. But just modeling that as the adult. But also, I actually sometimes I like to say, yes, we model it, but sometimes I see it in my daughter, and then I do it too. So it's almost like a give and take. Like, and I even tell her that I'm like, oh, thank you for reminding me, because yes, I'm an adult, but I also have emotions too, right? We have emotions, we're human beings. And so sometimes I need those reminders as well. And so I think it makes them feel really good that, that I'm not just hounding it into them, that we're more of like a partnership, and we're trying to bring that peace together, and we're trying to work together instead of me. I'm trying to support her, and she's gonna, we're gonna support each other. So that's what I like about the zones, is that we're doing it together. And then again, of course, being the model, but also watching them model it too, and then applauding them. So that would be like graphing of some sort. You can use like a um I like little tallies. I mean, I use like a little notebook or just write it in my daily agenda, like, oh, this day she was really upset. My daughter likes to journal, so she'll even do it herself. She'll journal how she felt that day. I actually got a really cool like journal that actually talks about how does they feel, what color does they feel, how does their body feel. She uses that one too. So there's a lot of neat little journals out there that just kind of they actually direct it, their self-reflection. So that's always nice too. There's like coloring books, like if the child likes to color out art. Um, so I'm super excited about. I bought one actually last night. I should have brought it in. It's in my car, or actually it's in my purse because I was like, oh, I'm gonna read it because I thought I was going to the hospital last night again. And so, but I left it in the car in my purse because I wanted to really like dive deep into it. But and then definitely make goals or like celebrate. Like the other day, my daughter had a really rough day, and we went out for ice cream. We went out to eat. We discussed it, and we had ice cream, and we celebrated like her not. Um, it's just I'll be very honest. Is my daughter's very physical when she's angry, and she didn't be physical. Um, and this was at school, so I was like, oh, thank God I didn't get that call. I didn't get that call, like, come get your daughter, right? And I'm like, and they always say like teachers' kids and therapists' kids are the worst, and I'm starting to believe that. But she did really well, and I was so proud of her. So we went out to eat, and we just had a really good time and ate ice cream, and we celebrated that she was able to change her mindset. She was able to control herself, use her tools, and it was really fun. Like I had a really good time with her that day, even though she was super upset, wanted to do so many bad things that she chose not to, so that way she feels better, even though she wasn't able to do that output. So it was a proud mommy moment, but I was super proud of her for controlling all that. And I always tell her, like, you're so much stronger than me. Some days I don't even know how you do it because in high school, my high school days were not like this. I'm sure you can speak to that too, Mr. Allen. Like high school days have changed so much.
Well,
So
I was the problem in high school, so I don't know. I was the only person on the dean's list for grades because they were mostly A's, and all my citizenships were the worst you can get. So
oh,
I bet that was back then, and this is now. So
well, that might be why you're so good and calm. You learned all those tools, and now you can share them with your granddaughter and your children when they were growing up. And
but
that's
your heart goes out to them, and you want to fix the problem for them,
yeah.
but you realize that they're not going to learn anything unless they do it themselves to build their character up. And it helps their esteem when they figure out themselves and, hey, I can do this, and it's a great self-gratification for them
Mhm.
to learn that.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so, uh-oh. And then it's oh, there it goes. It's sleeping today. So just to continue on with that it's nice to actually look at everybody's growth. I'm a big visual person. So the more visual, the better for me. Some people might be able to just talk about it of how much they've grown. Um, and then really celebrating the success, make it big. Somebody told me to celebrate and be goofy. I'm like, that's weird. And they're like, why is it weird, Heather? And I'm like, because like people don't just get up and dance and for silly things like that. And he's like, no, you need to change your mindset. So now that I celebrated with my daughter the other day, And now we reflect back to it, and she's like, I see the smile that comes to her face from like being able to celebrate that and being that so-called weirdo celebrating it. I now understand why it makes it big, it makes impressionable. So then the next time something like this comes around, she'll remember the celebration of using her tools and using and not being very physical, that hopefully she continues on that path and it'll be less and less hard for her to be able to just pull out that tool. And then, of course, be consistent. We got to be consistent. Yes, we're human, we make mistakes, and that's where we grow from. But like I tell everybody, is that, you know, we didn't get this way overnight. And it takes time, just like in a gym. You don't just walk into the gym and all of a sudden you're buff and ripped. You got to take time. It's patience. It's, you know, some days you don't want to do it. Some days you do want to do it. Just be that consistent, that consistency, and know that one day it's going to become um, natural.
You just helped my argument for not going to the gym.
Yeah, me too, man. You think something, I need to go to the gym too. So here's some just graphing ideas. I say to use kid friendly, like the sticker. That's what I was like about the sticker chart. This is more of like a how I'm doing, and they even use color code, like color coding it. Um, you can always do for the whole family. I even thought, oh, the dog, because let me tell you, the dog last night got in trouble, and he was definitely in the blue zone. He was definitely sad. He went and hide. He had an accident. He always wants to do it right in front of my daughter's door. I think it's because the other dog's inside of there. But he knew too. He knew he had his little head in the I was like, you're so cute. But he knew he was definitely in that zone. And then celebrate the successes, of course. And I can't say it enough, and you'll probably see it much more, even more in the PowerPoint, is celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. But I think also not just, I think when you look at success, like, oh, they were in the green all day, or, oh, you know, but when they're in the red zone and they use those tools, when they're angry or sad and they use those tools, and I always tell my daughter, like, you don't have to be happy all day, but if you're using those tools of breathing and talking or going, you know, for walks or whatever it is, just to pull you out and trying, that's the celebration. That's the celebration I want. Yes, it's great to be happy all day. I love it. Like you said, how does Miss Day keep that smile on her face all day long? Um, but I think as humans, you know, we're emotional human beings, and um, celebrating those. Yes, I was very angry, but I'm so proud of myself for just stepping back and breathing. And I'm going to celebrate by getting ice cream or whatever it is that you decide, or watching your favorite TV show together, or, you know, make it or just doing a little dance or whatever it is that you decide to do. Um, Me and my daughter actually just sat and listened to music, and it was one of the best things. We shared music, and it was a way we celebrated. So just something special to you and your family. And then, of course, discuss and plan together. I think this, like I said, brings ownership to everything. You know, like I tell my daughter, I always support her. You let me know what you want me to do, and then I will support you in everything you do. I might throw in some ideas and suggestions, but ultimately it's her life she has to live.
Right, yeah.
Like her consequences she has to take. You know, even when she's like, I just want to beat up that girl. I'm like, well, you have to take the consequences that come with that. So let's look at the bigger picture, you know. Oh, be suspended. Oh, yeah, you'll definitely be suspended. And then I might lose my placement in the medical, you know, program. Yep, that's a risk you might take. So she was kind of like, you know, dissecting it. And but I was there to support her. I said, I'm here to support your decision. If you think that's going to make you feel better at the end of the day, you know, I'll support you as much as I can. But ultimately when she started talking about it and discussing it and planning, she's like, this is probably not a good idea. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you went that route.
Mhm.
I wasn't ready for that phone call. So it's just,
With my youngest, I face that almost every day because there's one person, her cousin, that she doesn't get along with,
mhm,
and they constantly argue and fight. And uh, she says, I just want to hit her. And I said, well, what do you think that would do? And she said, well, she'd leave me alone. And I said, are you sure? What if she hits you back? I mean, I start asking these questions and getting them to think, and what if you get suspended? Or
mhm,
what if, then what am I going to have to do if you get suspended? Am
mhm.
I going to have to punish you or what? I mean, and all these things, that they don't think about, and trying to get her to look at all the things around her and step out of that anger zone and look into it before she acts. And she's done okay so far, but and I'm proud of her for enduring what she's enduring. But I'll be thankful when the summer gets here and she gets some relief.
Yeah. I think we're all ready for the summer. Get some relief.
Well, my vacation's over when the summer hits, so
Oh, oh,
I'm on vacation as long as school's out. And
oh, that's funny. Yeah, well, our vacation starts and parents' vacation's done. Um, but do you guys do lots of summer programs and stuff like that?
no, we uh, well, the youngest one's a homebody.
Oh, okay.
And she likes to stay at home, and the oldest is in college, and she's just found her freedom, and she works, which is good too, and she eats and sleeps here basically.
Hmm.
Uh, so
Okay.
we're working on that to get her to spend more time at home. But she said it's boring, and yeah, I can understand her point. To
Yeah.
me, to me, it's not. There's always something to do, you know.
There's always cleaning. I always tell them that there's always
So
cleaning.
we hire that portion out, but but
Uh,
the yard and your personal room and not common areas, but
yes.
taking care of your dishes when you're done, and cleaning the pot you cooked in. I mean, there's things like that to do.
Yes. So much to do in the house. So much. So I think you kind of talked about this a little bit, but how many people are in your family and how will you either graph your success or kind of self-reflect with your family? Do you think you will be able to do that? Like some people might be like, no, I won't have time, or maybe one adult works, like I have a friend that her husband goes to work as soon as she gets home, and her it's just kind of a passing time that they get. um like for us, we kind of just like talk about it, like, oh, how did our week go? We kind of sit down on like Sundays and discuss it. We'll have like family dinner. I'm like, oh, how do you think our week went? What could we have done better? Or what are our celebrations? Um, so how about you, Mr. Allen? How do you celebrate your successes and um, kind of just review?
Well, um, I love to fish,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
that's ever since I was a kid. That's been my favorite pastime, and I loved it. I fish for bass, and I love to outsmart the fish and lure them in and catch them. Um, and it's all fun. It gets my adrenaline going, and that's the reward. And plus, I get the peace and quiet, nothing but the water, the sun, the sky, the tules, mosquitoes sometimes. Uh, and I get that alone time where I can meditate and contemplate and pray and do all these things. And I really miss that time.
Mm.
And I haven't done it for years because of basically my responsibility and finding the time to do it. Well, I recently bought a kayak for fishing. So I'm going to get that out in the water, and that's how I'm going to celebrate.
Ooh, I like that.
As far as the rest of the house goes, well, we're older, and my wife is disabled, so we have trouble going places and doing things that especially require walking. Um, and around the house, I have to do most of the running and things like that because of her condition. So we have a hard time finding ways to celebrate outside of the house, going out. Um, But inside the house, we do it basically every day without the kids even realize what we're doing.
Ah, yes,
Just something to have fun,
sneak it in.
to get some contrast. And uh, it, this summer is going to be a real challenge because they're both older, and to hold the household together is going to really be a challenge for me. So
Oh, hopefully summer school. There's always summer
no
school.
summer school.
No.
No.
Uh, how about you, Miss Day? How do you celebrate?
I actually just I try to do it almost daily though, because also most of the time just being single, so it's not like I go home to a family. But I think that's one thing kids and maybe adults, instead of waiting weekly, is learning how to do it daily, because then it does become more natural. So I guess for me, it's how I handled a situation at work or did not handle it, and then just that internal gratification, because I don't think a lot of our kids know that or understand that everything is an immediate gratification and there has to be something tangible to it. And as adults, we know there's not always something tangible to it. But I feel like, I don't know what people's beliefs are, but I feel like when I do that, somehow the universe does bring it back to me later on. So just being able to say out loud, like, oh hey, I grew in that situation because the old me would have done this and things like that. So I think just trying to stop myself in my tracks, and finding when I did mess up, but then also finding that time when I can be successful, and then trying to find someone that I can share it with. I have a good friend here, and I'll go and tell her, okay, I just need to boast about myself. And I need to tell you, like, this is what I did, and I know she's someone that takes it as that is a learning moment for me, or a growth time. So that's how I do it.
Oh, I like that. Thank you for sharing, everybody. I like hearing different ways because then I can take it too and use it for my family as well. So I like learning too from everybody.
I think with us, the biggest type of celebration is doing something and achieving something together, whether it's one-on-one with each girl or the two girls, myself and my wife, or whatever. But just for instance, like, okay, let's make some cookies.
Mm.
And this Christmas, to save money, we made uh, banana nut bread and jars and canning jars.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and so all you had to do was hit the jar and the loaf popped right out of the jar. They were just small loaves. So we gave those away as Christmas presents.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I do.
and my youngest did a lot of the work, and she was, gave her experience in the kitchen. It gave us time together. She learned about cooking and things like that, and it was a great time. Um, so that, to us, that's kind of a way to celebrate too. Just that spending time together and achieving something because yes, you get the self gratification that also, yeah, I did this or I did that, and you feel good.
Yeah.
So on a daily basis, they try to do something, even
Yeah.
if it's a little thing.
Celebrate. I like that. So this is the stop, opt, and go model that Zones of Regulations has children learn, and this is one of the ones we use in this school. So we try to use like the stop light, like everybody knows when it's almost like natural, right? When you go down the street, that red means stop, yellow means slow, green means go, go, go. So they kind of show it like how to teach the self-control by using the stoplight. So like stop is to calm. Okay, let me stop, calm, and take a deep breath. Let me look at everybody's feelings. How's everybody else feeling? And that's hard, especially for children to recognize. I mean, as an adult, sometimes it's hard, like, oh, you know what? She was a little angry too. I maybe should have, stop, think, what is the problem? What is my options? What are the consequences of my actions? Like we talked earlier. So kind of really like stop, how's everybody feeling? Let me think about it. And that could be out loud or that could be internal too. And then making the best decision that is going to make me happy. And then also make me happy but have a good outcome. So that's where the stop, think, choose. And sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you talk it out with a friend, like Miss Day said, like celebrating by talking to a friend. Well, sometimes we just need to stop, think about it, and like, oh, I don't know what the right decision is. And so we go and ask a friend, or I still call my mom. She probably was like, stop calling me at like 9 o'clock at night, but sometimes like I just need, what do you think, Mom? I don't know what to do. Or so I'm hoping Nalani will continue that on. That's my daughter, but who knows? She might be tired of me by the time she's 18 and be like, nope, I'm gonna try on my own. But hopefully I give her the right tools. I'm hoping I give her those tools that she does, learn how to stop and think about her decisions and choose the right choice. So hopefully those tools will continue around with her and become more natural. And then do the self-reflect, of course, oh, I did do the stop sign. And then of course, celebrate. We have to celebrate. And I like what Miss Day says, like almost daily is good, but I know sometimes, life gets ahead of us and we just can't, celebrate every day. But even just, it's like I said, like a quick dance of like, like the football players do when they make a touchdown, or, like, wow, that's so great. Like emphasizing how amazing they decided to stop and think and choose. So making it simple and sweet and relatable. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be something just unique to that situation. And like I said, simple. For some reason, my computer is very slow today. So I wanted to share a little bit of this. I guess I'll play it. It kind of goes a little bit more over the stop and opt portion for the kids and how to kind of teach it to them. So I wanted to share this.
Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Glasgow again.
And Mrs. Pools.
And today for our lesson, we're talking about stop, opt, and go.
Wait, what? Is there a fire?
No, I said stopped, opt, and go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
Oh, what did you think I said?
Like stop, drop, and roll, like fire?
Oh,
Like a drill?
no. I'm talking about stopped, opt, and go. It's actually a really great tool that we can use to problem solve when we are in a problem. And a great way to remember the stopped, opt, and go is referring it to a stoplight or the stoplight tool. Everyone will get one of these in their mailbox, and it'll be on Google Classroom. So stop, opt, and go is a concept used to aid our impulses and problem solve to get to better solutions. or we could call it the stoplight tool. Stop, which is red, take a deep breath, which is yellow. Think about what tool do we want to use to help us respond to the problem, not react. Because when we react, that's when we end up in a different zone and out of control, like the red zone. And then green means go. So we are going to choose our tool to solve the problem, and it's going to be a good choice.
So you're saying that like if someone blamed me for something that I didn't do, I would stop and I would think, what are my options? Okay, so like I took a deep breath and I'm like, oh, I can definitely say something to you back. Oh, that's not very nice. Okay. I could throw something. No, that's not bad. Okay. I can tell a friend. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can tell a friend. That's
Okay.
a good choice.
Well, it might be better to tell a teacher.
Yeah, it would be better to tell a teacher because then that conversation is in private and your friends won't be telling all of the other friends. And when we do that, the problem can actually get bigger and bigger and bigger than like what we really want it to be. So,
that makes
telling-
sense.
Yeah, telling a teacher would be the best option.
Okay, so I stopped. I took a deep breath. I thought about my options, and I think the best one is probably to talk to the teacher. So I'm ready to go. Is that all I need to do?
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to do. So stop, take a second to think, take a deep breath, brainstorm your choices, pick the best tool, and go. Alrighty. So why do you think it's important to problem solve to find solutions for tough problems? Well, there's a lot of reasons. We become better problem solvers and we learn to respond, not react, like I said earlier. When we take the extra time to problem solve, we are able to choose the best solution and tool and stay in the green zone or work through that blue or yellow zone.
So the stop, opt, and go would be like if something happens that is a trigger for you and you automatically think, I'm going to react this way because it's going to make me feel better. No. Something happens. It starts to move you out of the green zone and into another zone. Stop. Think. Then you can act. In the long run, it'll help you make better decisions that will make you a better problem solver and a more respectful, responsible, safe, and kind Spartan.
That's it. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so kind of like the ending of it. Thanks, bye, see you later. Gotta go. So kind of like what we've been kind of talking about. I just want to kind of re-emphasize it with that video. How like they're really helps our children be more problem solvers. And that's what I've been trying to teach my daughter too. It's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? That's your life you have to live. Because ultimately one day, we're not going to be there to walk them through it. We're not going to be there, I can't be there every waking day, minute of her day. She has to ultimately make those decisions. And I'm hoping I give her those right tools. And it was interesting the other day, I watched her go through a rough patch and I was like, come on, you got to breathe. And she's like, I'm done breathing. I don't want to breathe so more. I'm like, okay, we got to think of something else then. So sometimes our tools, we got to kind of switch out too. We got to utilize some tools, but also bring in new ones sometimes, like refresh like the browser kind of thing. But I wanted to show that video just to kind of back up what we were kind of discussing. And that's what we're kind of bringing to our kiddos. And then this is what she was showing, so you can see a little bit better because she kind of showed it really quick. It's a stop, opt, and go, like she said, the light signal that we use for cars. And then they kind of write what their trigger is and or situation is. So for example, like my daughter, the girl is bullying her. And so she stopped what she was going to do. And then she wrote, you can write your options. So that way she knows like this is a thinking process. And, sometimes we can't think when we're on that red zone. Sometimes it's hard to really just stop and think. We just want to react, react, react. And so creating those options for her to think about and then go with her option that she decides to choose. And then what is her preferred option? Because sometimes we do have preferred options. Like some people like breathing, some people just want to go take a nap, some people want to, talk to a friend, get a hug, and the reason why they like that the most. And I believe this is actually, I have this visual, so I will actually send it out with the video, so that way everybody does have it too. You can look over it over. You can create your own. You can, do something fancy with it. You could do something of just talking about it. Just another tool for your toolbox to use for your kiddos when they become, needing to use those self-regulation tool. So one of those in your toolbox. So,
I see that as precisely the normal way of an attitude, to feel, think, and act.
mhm,
And an abnormal would be to feel, act, and then think, which often gets you in a lot of trouble. So, you stop, you think about it, you identify the problem, and then you go for the solution, and then you put it into action.
yes, a lot of people, yeah, they just want to act, act, act.
Mhm.
And some, like you said, it gets us in more trouble sometimes. And we just need to think about it, talk to people about it. And it's a process, but at least you're problem solving. And then some, like my daughter's like, I just want to solve it right, like right now. And I'm like that too. Like I want to fast, quick, let's get this over with, rip the band-aid off. And sometimes it just takes time. Like a lot of time. And I'm trying to teach her that sometimes it just takes time. And she's like, okay,
I,
mom.
I try and look over the job, see what's needed, plan it out, and then put it into action. Not only with material things, but also with people too, and my own feelings and everything else. So it's just, how I kind of view things as an example.
Yeah. This one is not loading. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not going. It's, well, I guess we're just going to skip over it. Hopefully the rest come up. All right, so here's just some ideas for different rewards. I know it says chore rewards, but I like some of them that could be just a reward for anything really. And then it kind of breaks it down to age group because we do have some older kids. Like my child's older, she's 16. So she's not like, I can go buy her a new toy. I guess I could go buy her new makeup or something. I'm sure she'll be happy with that. But here's some simple things like getting a new toy or game, or taking a trip. You just said about baking. I thought that was super sweet. Getting a new book. And then we have like the 7 to 10, maybe watch a movie where they get to choose the movie you're gonna watch. Extended bedtime. Who loves to stay up late? No, I don't love to stay up late, but I tend to stay up late. Maybe take a trip to the place that they want to take a trip to. And then ages 11 to 14, sleep over with the friends. We'll be ready for that though. There's gonna be a lot of noise. And the mall, oh my gosh, the favorite is the mall. Makeup, pizza, ice cream, and then like maybe celebrate all together like once a month, like do the small things maybe once a week, and then like the little dances and silly things and positive affirmations through the daily. And then maybe think about a thing you could do as a family, and you could do like hiking or game night. I love game night. I think maybe we should start doing that more often. Bike rides or sleeping over at a family member's house, or I know dinner at a restaurant. You say that it's hard to get out, but maybe bring in dinner from a restaurant and set it up like the restaurant. Let them set it up. create like a beach night, or, do a virtual museum or a virtual family event. There's so much virtual stuff out there that you can do. And of course, again, going out to the movies, having popcorn, and I love Harkins popcorn. Might be bad. Maybe that's why I need to go to the gym for the Harkins popcorn.
The best rewards for me would be the ages 3 to 6. I like that one the best. For me personally,
What is it? Which one was it?
through ages 3 to 6, I like that one personally. For
Yeah.
me. As far as family ideas, I do sleepover with grandma every night. So
Yes. Well, I mean, that's I thought I'll look at a different family's house, or for me, I think sleep in general would be nice. Leave me
Yeah.
alone, just let me sleep. That's like the
Yeah.
best reward ever.
yeah, I don't get much of that, but
Yes, me too. I'm like, this is I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. I'm just gonna put everything away, and then I'm like, nope, it doesn't happen. Something
that's what I said last night, and I finally got to bed at 2. So
at 2 in the morning.
yeah,
Start. Well, I did too, actually. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that, but yes, 2 in the morning, I went to bed. It was because I thought I was going to the hospital, so I had a situation. I was like, this is not going to be fun tomorrow. But I did get to bed at 2, so I'm like, okay, at least I got some, almost 5 hours of sleep. Oh, and that's it. Look at that. So next week we're going to dive into relationship building and relationship skills. Sometimes we think we have a great relationship, and again, I referred to my daughter. I thought, oh, we're really good, we're very open, but in reality there was so much tension there that our relationship could always be better. So I'm excited to actually talk about that relationship building piece. So I thank you for coming today. I'm sorry for last week. Like I said, I think the whole week off kind of threw me off. And I'm hoping next year when we do this again, we don't have to have a week off, because that throws me off, Miss Day. I
Yeah, that was my mistake when I was doing the calendar, so I apologize.
was like, I was in a good rhythm, and I was like, oh, I get to sleep in, yay. And then Tuesday came and I made the lesson. I was ready. I was super ready, pumped. And I think what happened is I fell asleep with just not even thinking to put an alarm on, which in reality, I was very happy I even woke up for work that day, because that could have overlapped even longer and I would have been like really screwed. So I would have been really in the red zone.
we don't want you to make mistakes, and the reason being is because you're instructing us, and if you make the mistakes, we may duplicate it. And if we duplicate it, if you think this is maybe 2 or 3 people, then it's not only duplicated, but it's multiplied. So we don't want you to make mistakes.
Oh, but I'm human. I'm human, and mistakes are
I'm teasing, of course.
Well, thank you so much for being patient. I will send this, I'll put it into YouTube and send it out, because we do have a few families that watch it at home. I'll send that Stop Opt visual out as well. And on that note, do you have any questions, concerns?
Just Miss Day, you have a good day, and I hope your testing goes well today.